Hey YouTube, it's Jamie Nyson here with another video, and I'm doing a review of the Triumph and Tragedy of World Class Championship Wrestling DVD. And on the cover we got Freebirds. I think that's Devin, Carey, or not Devin, Kevin, Carey, and David, and then the Freebirds, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, Michael Hayes, and I think Buddy Roberts or something like that. And that dude on the back, that Akbar dude, Gino Hernandez, Kabuki, Fritz Von Erich, Carrie Von Erich. Don't remember her name, it's one of the moms, I think. In the 80s, wrestling in Texas were like rock concerts. Fans flocked to the arenas to experience the excitement of world-class championship wrestling. But just quickly as it rose to popularity, WCCW burnt out through a series of traumatic losses. Here's the disc. Same thing. Looks really cool on the disc. Not really too cool, but yeah, it's the cover, but it does look pretty cool, I guess. But that thing is they just changed the disc too. But got the insert. I'll go over it. This is pretty long. It'll be a pretty long one, I guess, since there's a lot of stuff on this DVD. Texas wrestling. Just the early Texas days. Fritz Von Erich wrestling, and then the boys get into wrestling. Then Fritz Von Erich retires. Innovative television when they're on TV. Then them at the Sportatorium. Enter the Fabulous Freebirds when the Freebirds come in. Young Superstars, don't really remember who that was. Freebirds Von Erich feud. Death of David Von Erich. That's when he dies in like Japan because he ate too much or something like that. Chris Adams, Good Friend, Better Enemy. Don't really remember what that one was about. I think it's just pretty much about Chris Adams. Mike Von Erich in critical condition, and that was when he like got hurt or something like that. And yeah, Gino Hernandez and Chris Adams said that they were great wrestlers, but they had their personal demons or whatever, the drugs and stuff. Oh, I skipped one. Lance Von Erich. That was they had a fake Von Erich to fill the spot or something like that, or to have more. Fabulous Freebirds. Just talks about the Fabulous Freebirds again. Withdrawal from the NWA. I guess when they just split from the NWA. Carey's motorcycle accident when he wrecked a motorcycle and injured his foot and he had to get it amputated. Mike commits suicide. He goes out into the woods and says he's going to kill himself, and then Carey goes back there, or Kevin, and he tries to stop him, and then he said, "Didn't you see my note?" And then he went back to the house, and then he came back, and then with his mom, and then he shot himself. Fritz Von Erich has a heart attack. He just talks about the heart attack. Ken Mantell becomes part owner. Super Clash 3, that's on the Jerry the King Lawler, and Carey Von Erich had the AWA versus WCCW belt match. Jerry Jarrett buys WCCW. Carey goes to WWE, and then he was the Texas Tornado. Kevin quits wrestling. Chris Von Erich commits suicide. Carey Von Erich commits suicide. The curse. That's pretty much saying that they think there's a curse because David died, and then Michael, Carey, and Chris all committed suicide. And then the end, remembering world class, was that like the ending. And the extras are Tea with Gentleman Chris Adams, January 1983. Iceman King Parsons, March 1983. Freebirds promo on the Von Erichs, April 1983. Gino Hernandez at the airport, April 1983. David Von Erich, valet for the day. He had a match with Jimmy Garvin, I think his name was, and him and his wife or girlfriend or whatever, Sunshine, had to be his valet and do work for him and clean out a barn and wash the dog and stuff, and then it was pretty funny. Sunshine's assistant, she gets an assistant. Freebirds at Home, April 1984. Bad Street USA, music video, May 1984. And then it was like the Bad Street in Atlanta GA thing or whatever. Chris Adams and Gino Hernandez car service, April 1985. Carrie's Corner at Carrie photography hobby, September 1987. This was pretty much talking about him when they went to Israel and he was taking pictures and stuff of everything. Interviews, Kabuki, Sunshine in Israel, Fritz does Bill Irwin a favor. Kevin watches his dad wrestle, Fritz versus the Funks. Airplane crash, I hate you, Mr. Brazil. Pain inflicted, wrestling in Japan, and Survivor. And that was just Kevin. And yeah. The next matches on the next disc, I'm going to go ahead and say it, I wasn't really a fan of this. They were sort of boring to me. But, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of older wrestling. But, yeah. 2 out of 3 falls, Texas Wrestling. Duke Kiyomuka versus Ricky Starr. American Heavyweight Championship match. Fritz Von Erich retirement show at Texas Stadium, June 1982. Fritz Von Erich versus King Kong Bundy. And King Kong Bundy had hair and it looked so funny. Steel cage match for World Heavyweight Championship. Stars of Wrestling, December 1982. Kerry Von Erich versus Ric Flair. WCCW, May 1983. Iceman, King Parsons, Kevin and David Von Erich versus his Fabulous Freebirds. Alternate commentary, Todd Grisham and Kevin Von Erich. Hair versus hair match, Star Wars of Wrestling, December 1983. Iceman, King Parsons versus Buddy Roberts. 6-man tag title match, David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions, May 1984. Fritz Von Erich, Mike Von Erich, and Dave Von Erich versus the Fabulous Freebirds. Why does it say David Von Erich Memorial, but he's in the match? That doesn't make sense to me. Mixed tag match, David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions, May 1984. Gentleman Chris Adams and Sunshine versus Gorgeous Jimmy, Garvin, and Precious. And not the Black Precious either. David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions, May 1984. The Great Kabuki versus Kamala. American Tag Team Championship match, second David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions, May 1985. Fantastics versus Midnight Express, WCCW, July 1985. Gentleman Chris Adams versus Kerry Von Erich. Alternate commentary, Todd Grisham and Kevin Von Erich. Gentleman Chris Adams versus Kevin. WCCW, October 1986. Bruiser Brody and the Missing Link versus One Man Gang and Rick Rude. Then Steel Cage match, third Cotton Bowl Extravaganza, October 1986. Bruiser Brody versus Abdul the Butcher, the man who gave Hannibal hepatitis C. Abdul the Butcher, but yeah, great documentary. Sad one though, because their whole family pretty much just suicide or death, suicide, heart attack, suicide, and it was just crazy. Suicides and heart attacks and just more deaths, and it was probably hard to be a Von Erich. It probably still is, and Kevin's the only one that's still alive. But matches didn't really entertain me too much, but I watched them so I could get out the review, and because I wanted to review, because I really enjoyed the documentary. But I don't know if there's any special. I don't know. This is pretty much the only thing I know about WCCW, and I know that Chris Adams trained Stone Cold, and that's about it. But yeah, after this documentary is pretty much the only things I know about it. So I don't know if the matches were memorable or what, because I never watched WCCW before. Because my dad was a little kid when WCCW was around, and I definitely didn't watch it. So yeah, I don't even know if it came on. in Kentucky. I have no clue. But yeah, I heard it seems good. The matches weren't horrible, they were just sort of boring me, because I didn't really understand the storylines, because I didn't really watch, this is the only wrestling I've watched from it, is this. I don't think I have any other DVDs that have WCCW stuff on it. But overall, I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Awesome documentary. The matches aren't bad, I just sort of didn't understand all of it. And yeah, that's my review for the Triumph and Tragedy of World Class Championship Wrestling, and that's about it. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Bye.